All right. Welcome everyone to another live stream. Hope everyone is having a wonderful afternoon, evening, wherever you are watching from all over the world. Just going to give you guys an opportunity to come into the live. This is just a live question and answer like normal. So if you have a question, you can leave it in the comment section or the chat, and I will be happy to answer it. I am going to pin my email address. If you have questions about interview questions or job interviews, or something is happening and you are just not sure what's going on with respect to a response you're getting back from a hiring manager, and it could be any kind of position, I will be happy to help you. So I'm putting my email in the chat. If you have a resume and you want me to review it for free, I'll be happy to do that. I'll take a look at it, let you know exactly what I think, what adjustments you may need to make. And if you have a question, you can text me. And so thank you to everyone who is reaching out to me. I am getting hundreds of questions every day via comments, emails, and text messages. And I'm doing everything I can to make sure that I answer every one of them. So if you have a question, you can leave it in the chat tonight. I'll answer it live. You can also, again, email me. I'll answer it either on another live like this, or I'll answer it after I get off of this live. Welcome, YouTube. Welcome the Daniel Smiley podcast. Welcome TikTok, and welcome Instagram. Again, if you have a question, please leave it in the comment section. I am a talent acquisition leader in human resources, have been doing this for almost 35 years. There is almost nothing I do not know about interviewing candidates, screening candidates, building applicant tracking systems, working with hiring managers, building interview templates for them to hire you. There's almost nothing I don't know about pay rates and how to find pay rates and post job positions and job boards and all of it. I've been doing it for a long time. It's what I love to do. It's what I've been called to do. It's what I'm passionate about. It is what I will do for the rest of my life until I am no longer breathing on this earth and I am in heaven with the Lord Jesus Christ. All right. So thank you guys so much for joining, for all of the many thousands of additional followers on all of our platforms. Thank you so much and welcome. I'm really straightforward. I'm going to tell you exactly what's going on. So I'm going to dive right into some of the questions and comments that you guys have shared with me over the course of the last 24 to 48 hours. Moon Moo on Instagram says, hello, I've just found you recently and I am enjoying your thoughtful insights. Thank you so much. I got a email today, a message today from someone who said they got a job offer today or last week or yesterday, and they used the I am negotiable and they got more money just like I said they would. And I'm not surprised. A lot of people may think that, when I get these testimonials, I'm surprised. I'm telling you guys, I'm not. I've been doing this a long time, and I've been helping a lot of people get jobs for a long time. I don't know a lot about a lot of things, but I know a lot about this. And so the Lord has shifted my focus to help as many people as I can. And the evidence that this is what the Lord wants me to do is all of you and all of your questions and all of you getting jobs when it's, for some people, it's been 6 months or 4 months or 8 months, or for many of you, it's been a long time. And it's been every imaginable position, from C-level executives to VP of sales to vice presidents to directors to people in human resources. There are people who are in human resources just like me, and they're having challenges. So that's why I'm here. I'm here to help you guys. So that's my little introduction. I do have a book that I will be releasing by next Friday, and I think that you guys are going to potentially want to get your hands on it. Okay, the name of the book is titled Your Total Career Makeover. It is a guaranteed plan for career success, and this book is about 206 or 207 pages. It's going through the final edit process right now. And it has everything in it that I talk to you guys about every day. So it's a collection of all of the guides that I've given to you. So in there will be the fastest way to find a job, the best way to negotiate pay. All of that will be in this book that I will be releasing by next Friday. Again, Your Total Career Makeover. It is a guide for your career success. I will push that book out with special pricing next week. And I'll do that for about a week and give everybody an opportunity to kind of hop in. And then it will go away from the promotional pricing back to the regular pricing. Okay. If you need help with your resume, you can email me. If you have a question, you can leave it in the chat. But let's get started. So, Bad Gal, hi. I had an interview a couple of days ago. This is from Instagram. Bad Gal says, hi. I had an interview a couple of days ago, and one of the questions was, choose which one is odd. A dog, a cat, a bird, an elephant, and a fish. How do you answer a question like that? I don't. And I wouldn't advise you to. That is not, from my perspective, that is not a professional question. It has no relevance anywhere in the workplace. I don't even know why they would ask that question. And if I ever heard a hiring manager ask a question like that, they would have to give me a good reason why they ask a dumb question like that. That question is pretty stupid, right? Now, why do I say that? And I know that my comment may be a little harsh, but here's why I say that is a stupid question. And I would tell a hiring manager to their face it's stupid, with all due respect, because that question does nothing to show them your ability to solve the problem they need solved on their team. There is no kind of indication that it will give them about how loyal and committed you are, about how hard a worker you are, your technical expertise, your ability to be a good team member has nothing to do with that. If those are not the types of questions that are being asked, they are wasting your time. In fact, if I got too many of those questions in an interview, I might get up and walk out, right? That's ridiculous. What's the purpose of an interview? We're trying to find someone who is a fit on the team to solve a problem that the company needs solved, that helps the company to generate more revenue, either through direct production or support of those who are directly producing. And that could be sales or service or customer service. It could be administrative assistant. It could be some executive position or leadership or HR like I'm in. Dumb questions like that are not acceptable. So I don't want to go off on a tangent regarding that, but that's a ridiculous question. And I hope I ask that question to you. Okay. KHAZ Mon says, hello, Daniel. How do you handle conflict at work? So that question was asked of me. How do you handle conflict at work? Let's reframe the question. What hiring manager is asking is, if there was something that happened at work that was challenging, conflicting, I want to know if you would be the kind of person that will handle it well on my team. So what do? So conflict to me is two people who have opposing thoughts about the same thing, right? One person wants to go left, another person wants to go right. Both believe that they're correct. So the first thing, there's a book that I think it's called How to Win Friends and Influence People, or the seven habits of highly effective people. It says seek first to understand, then to be understood. So here's how you handle conflict in a workplace, and this is how I would respond to it. If I ever had conflict in the workplace, the first thing I want to do is try to understand the other person's perspective. Then I want to try to give them my perspective. And then what I'm hoping we'll do is come to a common ground where we can proceed to continue to accomplish the mission for the team and company. That's it. Don't say anything else. What they want to know is, how will you relate to other team members that you're working with, or departments or coworkers? They really want to know how you deal with that. Don't get in your emotions about it. Never, ever do that. Okay? Just tell them, listen, I'm going to try to understand their perspective, try to give them my perspective, and see if we can come to common ground. If we can't come to common ground, then I'm going to bring a third party in, a manager, my manager, their manager, or both, so that they can help us resolve the matter so that we can have a clear way forward. It ain't personal. It's business, right? That's all it is. In Wesley, testing phase of the recruitment process, which will include a qualifications appraisal panel, oral exam. What is it? So I don't know what this is. So it's the testing phase of a recruitment process. Are they testing your aptitude, your technical expertise? I don't know what they're testing. And it includes, you say, appraisal qualification panel. That may be people, a lot of IT jobs do this. That may be people who are going to be asking you technical questions about your expertise. They want to know how well you know them. So what that would look like for me is, if someone wanted to be hired as a recruiter, this is what I do, by the way. Whenever I'm trying to hire a recruiter for my team, this is how I give an oral exam over the phone in the pre-screen or in the interview. I'll say, today is Monday, and you have 25 positions to fill by next Monday. We don't have an option. Okay, 25. Tell me what you would do to get those 25, hypothetically, customer service positions filled. What would be the first thing you're going to do? And the second thing, and so on and so forth. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to see if they have the technical expertise to walk me through a process that will help them to generate enough candidates to hire 25 people, right? I have a metric that I use to hire people, the number of people they have to talk to. So that's probably what they're doing with you. They just want to see, they're going to bring in somebody that has been doing maybe your job for quite a while, and they want to talk to you face to face and make sure that the information that they see on your resume jibes with the expertise that you know in your head. Okay, that's probably what's going on. Keep me posted. I would love to see if that was spot on. Compancho. Can you apply to the same company where you got fired for false accusations and lack of investigation, but in a different branch and city? So let me explain to you typically how human resources does this, okay? So if you get terminated from a job, your employment is terminated for whatever reasons, but you can call it false accusations, you were forced out, doesn't matter. Inside of the applicant tracking system, or not applicant tracking system, my apologies, the HRIS system, the Human Resources Information System, where everyone in the company should be housed, there is a rehire code. We use a rehire code or notes for rehire. You are either eligible for rehire or you're not. In the HRIS system, we indicate your reason for separation. In your case, it will be termination for false accusations, and we will put in not eligible for rehire. So if you apply to the same company but in a different city, I'm thinking, depending on the size of the company, the HRIS system is one cloud-based system where all of the information is housed. So if you worked in one city, the other city should be able to see the exact same information. So if you apply to a job, your name comes up. And what typically happens in our company is, from a recruiting perspective, we will reach out to HR and say, hey, we have access to, I have access to the HRIS system, but the process will be, hey, we wanted to see if this person is eligible for rehire. And if they said no, then we will let that person know at this time you are not eligible for rehire, so we will not be continuing with your application. So let me explain to you what I think you should do. If you are a supremely qualified candidate, come papacho, don't waste your time. Find another company to offer your expertise to and keep it moving. There are plenty of opportunities there. That's a door that God has potentially shut that will not be reopened. So Bad Gal said it was on paper that I had to answer the questions. Yeah, and it probably was again, I think if we're talking about the same thing, it was about your technical expertise. Okay. If you have any questions, leave it in the comment sections. Bad Girl says, I thought the same, but I had multiple questions on a sheet of paper that was given to me after the interview. Thanks for your answer. You're welcome. Okay. Again, sometimes your technical expertise blows people away. But if you have people who are hiring, who are technical experts, they don't have to take you through all of this foolishness. Now, some companies will take you through all of these different tests because they're trying, it's just a way for them to make sure everybody's asking the same questions, doing the exact same thing, and having that they'll have that information inside of your employment file. But just answer the questions as best you can, see what decision they make, and then go from there. One of the things you will often hear me say is 98 out of 100 candidates do not fully qualify for a job. There are different levels. Some people are 0% qualified. They apply to positions just for no reason, never going to get selected. 50% of those people may be 50% qualified. The other 25% may be 80% qualified, meaning you're missing a little something. And only two people out of every 100 typically are supremely qualified for a job. Meaning, when I say supremely qualified, I simply mean they have every skill, every experience, education, all of the background that the company is looking for. But they may not be a personality match, so they may not get selected either. Okay. LV Fib, do you take on extra projects at work with the hopes of getting a promotion? No. So check this out. I would take on extra projects at work without looking for any sort of promotion. And if you're working with good managers, good, capable managers, one, if they give you an extra project, it's because they believe you have additional bandwidth and expertise to handle it. Okay. So you're putting yourself in a position to be selected for increased pay or some sort of a promotion down the line if you take on those extra projects. Now, don't let them use you now. Okay. But I take on those extra projects if it's not going to destroy the core work that I'm responsible for doing. If it's lightening somebody else's load because they need it, I will do that. And the hope is down the line, they will recognize that contribution and potentially either compensate you or promote you because of it. but don't do it because you're trying to get a promotion. Okay, I don't think that's the smart thing to do. A good manager will recognize the people they can depend on their team, and they will give you extra projects. And when it comes time for them to expand someone's bandwidth, you would have already done that, and they should be giving you some sort of props or promotion or pay raise because of it. I hope that answers your question. If you have a question, leave it in the comment section. I'll be happy to answer it for you. From IG, when you have been discharged from a previous company, is it a good idea to advise your future employer about your mistake? No. It's none of their business, right? It's none of their business why you left. You're just not there anymore, okay? And you'll hear me say this often. Being terminated from a job or having gaps in your employment is not a big issue. It's not, okay? If the reason for you being terminated is legitimate or not. Maybe you got fired because you had a fight with somebody. Here's the question though. Have you learned from that mistake, and will you ever do it again? If you show remorse, understand that you learned from that mistake and you'll never do it again, and you can convince the hiring manager that your character in that way has changed, then you should be fine. Don't worry about terminations. Don't worry about that stuff. So when I'm interviewing candidates for jobs, I'll ask them a question. Why are you no longer working at X, Y, or Z, right? And they could tell me right up front. They could tell me, well, I was terminated from that job. And then I'll ask, well, what happened that caused you to get terminated? And they may tell me something like, well, I had a dispute or a conflict with somebody. They may tell me the real reason. What I want to try to do is get to the core of it, because our team might not function like that. That may not even be an issue for a person like this person on our team. And then I'll ask this question. Okay, I understand. What have you learned from that situation? Right? What do you learn from it? And then depending on the answer that they give me, that will make me then make a decision which way to go. That'll help me to determine which way I should go with respect to that particular person. But many of us, if you've been working any amount of time, you've been fired before. I have, right? I've been laid off before. I'm sure you have. Been demoted, promoted, all kind of stuff. I've been loyal to a company that has gone out of business, loyal to a company that transferred to another state, and I had to go find other employment, all kind of stuff. These things happen. That's not uncommon, okay? So you don't tell your future employer about it. If they ask about it, just use the response. Well, my values and goals are no longer aligned with that company. They're more aligned with this one. So I'm happy to be here. And then if doing some sort of discovery, they find out about the termination, you always want to make sure you admit that it was an issue and that you learn from it and you'll never do it again. FIB says, how can you transfer to an HR position with a bachelor's degree in healthcare management? Okay. So the first thing I want to tell you is don't lead with your degree for any position other than a position that your degree is in. Okay, so how can you transfer to an HR position? So this is how you do it. Okay, so you start off really as an HR, it could be an HR clerk, an HR generalist. I mean, these are positions that are employee relations type jobs, support type positions. You want to start there, okay? So that's, that position is going to be, at the bottom of the totem pole, if you will. And then as an HR generalist, you prove your worth. And then maybe, HR admin, you prove your worth. Then After you gained enough experience, maybe a year or two, you can slide into an HR generalist type role where you have a bit more hands in benefits and more employee relations. And then maybe you go and get your SHRM or something like that, and you want to slide into an HR manager type role, and so on and so forth. But breaking into HR, if you want to be an HR admin assistant or a payroll person, that's in many companies a function that's part of human resources and not always accounting. You can break in that way, okay? But leading with your degree that's outside of your degree field is not going to help you. All right. Wesley, I'll keep you posted again. Thank you. You're welcome. I appreciate you. Okay. If you have a question about anything that's work or job related, interview related, leave it in the comments. Okay, another question from IG. I got a question. I had an interview yesterday with Hampton Inn as a front desk agent. I have 11 years experience. The interview was excellent. He said he's going to call me either yesterday or today. If I don't hear from him, should I reach out to him? Yes. I don't care if he didn't say he wasn't going to call you. The way the process should work is this. If you interview with a company, if you have not heard any feedback from that company in 3 days, 3 business days, email them. Hey, my name is so-and-so. Thank you so much for interviewing with me. I'm following up on next steps. If they don't respond to your email in 24 hours, you call them. Hey, Mr. General Manager, following up with you from my interview 5 days ago. Wanted to see what are the next steps. Not, I want to see if you made a decision. What are the next steps? Okay. If they don't answer your voicemail in 24 hours, you get in your car if they're local, a Uber, get on a bus, a bicycle, a skateboard, whatever you have to do, and you go to the company and you ask for that manager and say, listen, I just want to get an update on what's going on. Here's why. You are valuable. They need you. So they need to make a decision. In the old days, they used to say they need to either pee or get off the pot. You are either going to make me an offer or I am going to offer my services to someone else. I came here, I researched the company. I know about this organization. I know the problem that you guys have. I know I can solve it. So Mr. Hiring Manager, either pee or get off the pot. Let me know something, please, so I can get on with my life. Your bills are not going to stop. So that's what you need to do. Yes, reach out to them and get them to give you feedback. And if after you do that twice, they don't respond, keep it moving. That is an unprofessional hiring manager. That is not someone I would want to work for. And I wouldn't advise you either. Okay. Banker says, how do you prepare for a business analyst position? I would imagine with 6 people on the panel, roles ranging from vice president to PMO to business analyst and project manager. Okay, so let me explain to you how you prepare for a panel interview. First, let me explain to you why companies do panel interviews. There are 2 primary reasons why companies do panel interviews. The first reason, I'm going to give you the most extreme reason, is this. The vice president, who I think will be the top person in the room, does not trust whoever your hiring manager is going to be to make the final hiring decision. So they want to interview you themselves. Okay? They don't trust the hiring manager and they don't trust the hiring manager's manager. So they're doing a panel interview so all of you guys can be in the same room and they can make the final decision. So imagine you're in that panel interview and after everything is over, they're having a discussion and that hiring manager loves you, but the VP doesn't. You are not going to get the job. Okay, so that's first. So this is how I advise you. That's the first explanation. The second explanation is some companies are truly collaborative, right? And they value the input of multiple entities, multiple people within the organization. And so the vice president in this instance may say, you know, I feel sideways about this person, but the decision is yours, right? They're just giving, they're being collaborative, and that's fine. Some companies like to hire that way, and that's cool. But how do you handle it, right? If you can impress the top dog, everybody, nobody else matters. Okay, if you can impress that vice president who has the most influence on the panel, everything else is a done deal. So when you walk in with a piece of paper and you say, hey, thank you so much for allowing me to be in this panel interview. For my own notes, I would like to give everybody's first name and title. Okay, they'll give it to you because they want you to know who they are. Once you figure out who is the highest ranking person in there, you want to focus on that person and whoever the hiring manager is. Their questions are going to be the most important because they have the most influence in the room. Okay. And so you treat a panel interview like it's an individual interview. Instead of one person asking you 10 questions, it might be 10 people asking you one question each. They're not going to have a panel interview for 2-3 hours, right? So you just take each question. And the best way to handle the panel interview is this. When they ask you a question, repeat that question back to them so they know you understand it. Take your time and answer it. Okay, it gives you the opportunity to potentially reframe the question in your mind so you can give them a thoughtful answer. That's how you do it. And blow them all away. Okay, that's how it works. All right. VF says, thank you so much for your advice. You're very welcome. That's why I'm here. I love giving you guys advice. I love it. If you have a question, leave it in the comment section. I'll be happy to answer the question for you. Here's another question from IG. Coach, as a talent acquisition coordinator that probably has to seek new employment come early next year, how do I navigate an interview where I'm clearly better at interviewing than the young HR generalists and hiring managers when giving my responses to types of questions I already know they're going to ask from your teachings and my experience? Should I dumb myself down? No, don't dumb yourself down. But here's the deal. So the answers that I give you are two things, okay? And they're designed to do one specific thing, but they're two things. They're piercing and they're to the point, okay? They are piercing and they're to the point. I'm going to tell you exactly what the deal is. They're to the point. And 99% of hiring managers, almost all of the hiring managers that I've ever worked with, none of them will have a comeback. And I'm telling you, I'm talking about CEOs, CFOs, VPs, operations, everybody. I've worked in almost every imaginable industry you can think of. And everyone asks the same question. And the reason why I give you the answers the way that I give them to you, because 99% of them will not have a comeback. So you don't have to dumb yourself down. Now check this out. Don't try to be the smartest person in the room either. There's a distinction here by over talking, by oversharing information, by giving too much information, because then that inexperienced HR manager and HR generalist may become intimidated knowing that you're going to be joining their team, and that will be an issue. That is an issue of likability. Okay? So just answer the questions in a very straightforward manner. Okay? And that's it. Don't say nothing else. I'm gonna get a t-shirt that says that. That's it. Don't say nothing else. All right. So that's how you deal with it. Don't dumb yourself down. You're supremely qualified. The right person who is not intimidated by your experience will embrace you and want you to come along. I'm never intimidated by another recruiter. I know, and I truly believe this. I am one of the best recruiters in the entire United States of America. I know this game very well, and I haven't run across many talent acquisition uh, people like myself who know as much as I know. And it's not just because I have 35 years experience, but I've seen almost every imaginable thing. And the way my brain works is I just kind of I boil everything down to its simplest form. And when I've done that, it made me realize everybody's asking the same question. Everybody's doing the same thing. Everybody wants the exact same thing, which is why I am sharing what I'm sharing with you. Okay. If you like the content on TikTok or on Instagram, tap the screen to get the likes up. Just helps it to be shared more. I saw somebody on TikTok say they got fired for spending too much time in the bathroom. Don't tell nobody that. But that's okay. It is what it is. All right. From Instagram, how do I convince a hiring manager that I don't have more knowledge on a particular topic, but I will learn and improve once I join the company in the interview? Okay. So, myth, let me explain something to you. So, very few people have 100% of the qualifications for a job they're being hired for. You will have to learn something. So, you may have all of the technical expertise, but when it comes to dealing with a particular type of customer or a software, you don't know that yet. Okay. So let me share something with you. I want you to listen to me very carefully, and everybody else listen to me. Don't try to convince a hiring manager of nothing. Okay? Don't do that. The reason why you're sitting in front of them is because they already know what your skill level is, your experience level is, and they know it's limited. So the limitation is something that they're already good with. They're already good with that. There's other parts of your expertise that they like and are more interested in. They can teach you the other stuff. So don't go in there trying to convince them, sell yourself that you are going to learn X, Y, and Z. You're going to learn it anyway. To do your job, you will have to know whatever it is you don't know. Okay? What you need to do is this. This is how I tell every single candidate to answer a manager. This is how you answer it. I am willing to do whatever it takes for as long as it takes to get the job done on your team. That's it. Don't say nothing else. Why do I tell you to say that? Because that's all hiring managers want. If you are not doing the job, somebody else will have to do the job, and it's usually them. So I am willing to take whatever burden you have on your plate in your department off of your plate, so you never have to worry about that again. That's all they care about. Everything else, they can teach you. So don't go in there trying to convince them because you seem desperate and you're already qualified. I hope that answers your question. Daryl says, how do I respond from a bad interview, especially with a FANG company? I don't know what FANG is, but that's okay. How do I respond from a bad interview, especially with a FANG company? I learned, for example, I needed to spend more time reviewing the leadership principles and need to practice the STAR interview answers. Not sure what a FANG company is. And I would like to help you with this, Daryl. Let me see. I want to help you with this. FAAG company. So I want to help you with this. So I want to be able to give you a good response. So FANG is an acronym referring to the stocks of the 5 most popular and best performing American technology companies. How do I respond from a bad interview, especially with the FANG company? I mean, when you say bad interview, I don't know what you mean. So reach out to me, either DM me or email me. I'll tell you exactly how to respond once I get more clarity. And then I will read our interaction back on another live so that I can make sure everybody else is getting the same information as well. So thank you for that question. And if you have a question, you can leave it in the comment section. I'll be happy to answer that question for you live right now. Okay? All right. Here's another question from Instagram. I have an interview Friday for a training position, learning delivery facilitator for licensed claim adjusters through insurance. How do I sell myself? Okay. So guys, let me share something with you. This is for the entire community. Don't feel like you have to sell yourself to anybody. The reason why you're being hired for a job is so you can solve a problem that exists within the organization. So what kind of problem does a training position solve? You are responsible for getting someone ready to go out and do some function within the organization. So if it's a claims adjuster position, licensed claims adjusters, you're training them, usually in a call center type environment or something like that. You're trying to train them how the company wants them to do claims, review claims, report claims, anything that's claims related. So you're training them on the company's way to do that. So your job is to get people ready to do the business of the business, to stand them up, okay? So selling yourself, if you want to use that as an example, if you want to use that word, simply means you need to show them, and you have already done that when they got your resume. They know you can train, they already know that. But what they want to know is, how committed are you to helping get people through the training process so they are ready to go 100% to sit in a seat to do claims adjustments, right? Why is that? Because claims adjustments make the company money. The more claims that they can get done and get through, the more money the company will make. And your job is to get as many people through the training process so they can get on the floor, if you will, as possible. That's the deal. Selling yourself, you don't have to sell yourself on nothing. They already know you can do the job, so they bought your qualifications, okay? They already know. Excuse me. All right. So Walter from Instagram says, hey, I hope you are well. I was wondering if you have FMLA and your doctor advises day shift would be best for your health. Can the company decline the doctor's orders for an earlier shift? No. They can make it difficult for you, but no. They should be able to give you reasonable accommodations because FMLA. Okay. If you're coming back from family medical leave, I mean, we got to give you some sort of reasonable accommodations. But that's the doctor's orders. Okay. So they shouldn't be able to deny that. Hope that answers your question. Muhammad says, what is one game-changing line for why we should hire you? This is the game-changing line, Muhammad, because you will not meet anyone else who will do this job more productively than me. That's it. Don't say nothing else. I hope that answers your question. You're welcome, babe. All right. JG says, thank you, coach. You're welcome. Daryl Walker says, I like the way you keep it simple, straight to the point, and don't say nothing else. That's right. I'm telling you, I'm going to get a shirt or a hat that says, that's it. Don't say nothing else. I'm going to wear it around, and people are going to ask me, what does that mean? And I'm going to tell them, when I give you an answer, that's it. I'm not saying nothing else. You can think about it however you want to think about it. Now, I'm telling you to answer this way because I know how almost all hiring managers think. Okay. Vic Beal says, thank you, coach, for your information. Is helpful. You're welcome. I appreciate it. So Daryl says, Facebook, Amazon, and Google. Yeah, let's have a conversation about that. I'll tell you exactly what to do. It usually requires you and I to have a bit of a dialogue, and it could be via email. You can text me or you can DM me. And man, I will tell you exactly how to handle it. Okay. All right. So B said on Bim on Instagram says, do companies interview for positions that aren't real positions? I've heard there are fake jobs. Why would they do this? And how do you know if these jobs are real? Very good question. So in my upcoming book and in some of my guides, the fastest way to find a job, I have a guide right now called The Fastest Way to Find a Job. And in my upcoming book, okay, Your Total Career Makeover, I talk about the two types of job postings that are out there, okay? And one is strategic, one is hiring. So there are active jobs and there are passive jobs, and I'm going to tell you how you know the difference. An active job is a job that a company actually is hiring for, and they need to get somebody hired within the next 30 days. And the way the process works is week 1, they will do interviews. Week 2, they will make offers and do HR onboarding. Week 3 and 4 is when you have to put in a 2-week notice at your current employer, and then you will start with that company on the first day of the next month or something like that, right? So every company knows it takes about 30 days to get a person on board because you have to interview, go through the background and onboarding process, and then you'll have to potentially put in a 2-week notice and then be hired. So everybody knows that. So whenever there's a position that a company is actively hiring for, this is how you will know. When you apply, you will hear back from them within 1 to 5 business days. You will hear some kind of reply. 1 to 5 business days. Okay. If you have not heard from them, usually in 1 to 5 business days, it may be a passive job opening. And I'm going to explain to you now what a passive job opening is. A passive job opening is designed to fill up a company's applicant tracking system. So it's not an actual open job. They are just recruiting for future positions. And that future could be 3 months from now, 6 months from now. Their busy season may be 8 months from now or whatever. And so they're getting candidates in their database now so they can reach back to those candidates when the busy season happens or when they really do need someone hired. They can reach back into their database instead of having to go spend money on a job board to get you hired. Okay. So that's how you tell the difference between an active and passive job. Active jobs, they're going to reach out to you within 1 to 5 business days, sometimes 7 business days. Passive job openings, you're not going to hear anything at all. They're not going to tell you we've moved on with another person. They're not going to talk to you about any rejections. They're not going to call you to see if you're available. They're not going to try to interview you. A passive job opening is just designed to fill the database. I do this every day. So when a hiring manager comes to me we are not behind the 8 ball. I already have 1,000 candidates in our database I can go back to and reach out to see if they're available. Okay, so they are not fake jobs. They are just not jobs that are available right now. They will be hiring for the future. Okay, P. Porter on Instagram. Do you think you would be disqualified for stumbling over an answer or a response doing an in-person interview? It depends on the hiring manager. It depends on the question. And it depends on the answer. Not if it's one. Now, stumbling simply indicates that you didn't know the answer to that question, and maybe you were trying to come up with some sort of answer. They could see that as you being dishonest or something like that. So that could be the case. But a hiring manager should have, I think good hiring managers have empathy. They're looking at your resume. They see that you have the qualifications. They're asking you to clarify some of that information, trying to figure out if you're likable. That's why I tell you, don't try to sell yourself in an interview. They're trying to figure out if you're likable and if you're somebody they can work with on their team. So stumbling over answers to questions is not that big a deal. But again, I do advise to answer questions in the way that I tell you, very straightforward, very direct and to the point. So that should not be a reason why you are disqualified. If they disqualify you, it won't be because of that. It will be because they just didn't like you. They didn't see that you were a person that was likable. And likable to me is defined as they didn't think it will be fun being in a room with you with no windows for 8 hours a day. That's the main reason why hiring managers reject people. Likability. Hope that helps. Walter Drops says, hey, I hope you're well. I was wondering if, I'm sorry. I already answered that question. All right. So thanks for the question. Okay. Daryl said you'll send me a DM. Thank you so much. Let's have that conversation. And then I'll repeat it back on when we are doing another live. And I'll be doing lives every Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Thursday to make sure that I answer your question. It gives me the opportunity to get through all of my one-on-ones and resume reworks and rewrites, and then continue to produce free content for you guys. Vic Beal says, if I quit my job and the manager asks why, should I tell him or her that my new job is paying more of an hourly wage? Should I tell her that my new job, if I quit my job and the manager asks why, should I tell him or her? Are you saying, should you tell your current manager why? Vicky, I got an answer for you. Answer that question for me. Are you saying why you should tell your current manager why? Hippie says, thank you, you're welcome. Snow Doggy says, hi. How do you respond when asked about leaving a job because of a toxic micromanager? I'm at the CFO level. Very good question. So you're chief financial officer, and usually the CEO or COO or somebody like that was toxic, okay? So the way you answer that question, and whether you are a CFO like you are, a CEO who has a toxic board that they report to, or someone who is a line individual, if you have somebody that's toxic, man, it ain't good for you, right? It's not good for your health. It's not good for you at all. So the way you tell the company that will be you'll be going to is you say something like this. You know what? My goals and core values no longer align with that company. They align more with this company. So that's why I want to work here. I want to work for the best, one of the best companies in the world. And I believe that this company. That's it. Don't say anything else. Because you are not interested in being in a toxic environment with a micromanager at the C level, and you shouldn't be. So those values are not in line with what you are interested in. As a CFO, you have a big job with respect to managing the company's finances. and reporting in a meaningful way. And if your boss, who is usually the CEO, is toxic, and he's a micromanager, he's a poor leader. You should have freedom and autonomy to be able to do your job. On TikTok, hi, should I list my current job as end dates, as presents when applying for new jobs? So whenever I have people do a resume, this is how I have you list your time of service. I don't do the month, day, year thing. I just have you do the year. Okay. So it could be from January of 2024 to October of 2024. So I would put, 2024, to present. Or if it was January of 2021 to March of 2024, I would put 2021 to 2024. That's what I will have you put. Okay. It really doesn't. Listen, a lot of people think that matters. It really doesn't matter. If you're sitting in front of a hiring manager, you're sitting in front of the hiring manager because they believe that your technical expertise is something that they can use to help them do whatever it is they're doing. So you can put down to present, or you can put down 2024, 2021 to 2024, whatever that looks like. And if they ask you how long you've been out of work, you can tell them the truth. I hope that answers your question. And again, if you're sitting in front of a hiring manager, it's because they're really, really interested in interviewing you, and that should not matter. That doesn't matter as much as you think. Okay? Big Bill says, I like it when you say keep it short and simple. Yes, I know how most hiring managers think. CEOs, CFOs, COOs, VPs, they all, line managers, if they're hiring somebody and doing interviews, they all think and ask the same question. CZ Keel says, what type of resume writing service do you offer? Okay, so I have two products that I offer to people. One is a self-service product. It's called the Winning Resume Template. It is a template that clearly shows your area of expertise on the first page, and it blows every manager away or recruiter who sees it. 99% of resumes don't have it. Very hard for a recruiter like me or HR pro like me to see what you're an expert at. I have to dig through your resume to figure all that out. Now you are relying on me to figure out what you're an expert at by deciphering and going through your work history. That is the wrong way to do it. Okay. I tell people to clearly state their area expertise in a quantifiable way on the first page. So that's how the resume template is set up, and it shows you how to do it. If you want that resume template, you can click the link in my bio or send me a DM. I'll send you the link, and you can redo your resume with that and send it back to me, and I'll tell you if it's good. Okay, that's one. If you just can't find the quantifiable words yourself, that by the way, the resume template is $21.99. If you just can't find all of the words yourself and you want the resume to be your areas of expertise and summaries and all that stuff to be dynamic, I will do it for you. My resume rework service, meaning I'll take your current resume and I will make it a resume that is good for AI systems, applicant tracking systems, LinkedIn, job boards, anybody that sees it. It will smack a hiring manager right in their face with what you're an expert at. If you want me to do it, that service is $75, and I turn those resumes back around within 3 to 4 business days from when I get it. If you want that service, just send me a message. I'll send you a link. You can do that, and we can get you going. Okay? So thanks for that question. All right. So LV says, I'm going to email you my resume. I would love some feedback on how I can improve it. I will definitely give you feedback. That is free. If you want to email me your resume, I'll be happy to do that. Snow Doggy, the CFO, says, thank you. I appreciate the positive response. You are so very helpful with your content. Thank you very much. And for many of you, listen, Snow Doggy, I deal with C-level executives all the time. I deal with senior level managers, VPs all the time. And what a lot of people don't, and I've been a C-level executive myself, okay? Chief operating officer for recruitment. I've owned and been the CEO of a staffing agency myself. I understand how it works, but toxicity at any level in an organization is unacceptable. People should not be micromanaging you. And I will tell you this, when someone starts to micromanage you, that should indicate to you they are trying to find a way to get you out of there. Okay? You hired me to do a job, give me freedom, flexibility, and autonomy. If I can't do that job because you're standing over my shoulder and I can smell your hot breath, I don't have time for this company, right? You are hired. You don't get to the CFO level and not be able to do the job. So the issue is not you. The issue is that CEO or whoever your manager was. Z says, thank you. I appreciate it. Bank says, nice one. So thank you guys so much for joining me on this live. I will be back again tomorrow answering more of your questions. I would love your support. If I said something tonight that was helpful to you, a $10 gift will be greatly appreciated. Click the link in my profile and give a $10 gift. I would appreciate it. If you can, if you can't, I'm fine with that too. That's perfectly fine. If you need help with your resume, send me an email, coachdanielsmiley@gmail.com, coachdanielsmiley@gmail.com. I'll review your resume and tell you exactly what I think you should do. If you have a question that you want to ask me, you can email me, coachdanielsmiley@gmail.com, or you can text me, 469-616-3233. I get text messages, tons of text messages every single day. I don't charge for that. I will give you a response. If there is something that needs to go further, if you email me or text, I will give you my advice. I will say, okay, this is going to require more of a conversation. So this is what I recommend. And you can choose to do it or not. That's completely up to you. Okay. Again, I have a new book that is coming out. Your Total Career Makeover over the course. It'll be out by next Friday, maybe earlier. I'm going to invite you guys to pick that book up. It'll be in my store. And if you need a guide for help, like overcoming the fear of a job interview or how to negotiate pay or the fastest way to find a job, all of that stuff is available to you right now. But my commitment to you is I will continue to do what I believe is God's work in my life, and that is to provide you with the content to help you to get the jobs you want faster. No frills, get the job you want faster and make things happen. And this is what I say at the end of every single live stream. And I mean this, okay? I mean this. I am going to spend the rest of my life helping you get to the next level in yours. Thank you again. I hope to see you in the email, in the DMs, or text messages very soon. I'll talk to you guys on the next live. Thank you.